thank you for joining us for this virtual parent session for the Be Internet Legends from Google and Parent Zone. So today we're going to be talking to you about how you can help keep your children safer and let them be more confident online. So my name's Chelsea and I'm part of Parent Zone's Be Internet Legends team, and I've been teaching this programme in primary schools for the last 3 years. Just a quick question there from Lizzie Johnson. Yes, please feel free to share this link with your friends now, and they're more than welcome to join us. And as we go through the session, I'll be stopping to respond to some of your thoughts and questions. We've also got our expert Tim in the chat box, so if you do have any questions, just pop them into the chat. And just remember, there is no such thing as a bad question. Hello there, Darren. Nice to see you there joining us. Before we start, I just want to check that everybody can see us and the pictures around me too. If your picture quality is not very good, I recommend just pressing refresh on your browser, and you can also adjust it by clicking on the little cog in the bottom right hand side of your screen and select quality, and that'll help depending on what your Wi-Fi or your data can cope with. So this whole session will take about 20 to 30 minutes, so get yourselves comfy, grab yourselves a cup of tea, and let's begin. So you might be worried about your child spending more time online these days, and that's where Be Internet Legends is here to help. So don't worry if you haven't heard about it already, because I'm going to explain everything. We've been teaching Be Internet Legends in schools for 3 years now, and it's a mix of virtual assemblies and a full curriculum that's used in schools across the UK. And we really want to tell you about it because you can use it at home if you want to. So in a nutshell, Be Internet Legends is a mix of easy to remember things about internet safety, digital well-being, and developing healthy digital habits. Everything we do is about empowering young children and young people to become confident explorers of the online world. Now, it's a really tricky time. There's so much going on, and I know that you're juggling a lot. You've got kids at home, looking after them whilst working and trying to stay in touch with your friends and family. And as the situation in schools change, you might have one of your children going back in for some of the time and another child staying at home. Now, it's a really confusing time and different families will have different normals, but you're not alone. Across the world, 1.5 billion children are at home because of the pandemic. So this probably means that they're spending more time online using tech and the internet to play and stay connected with their friends and family. So today I am going to explain what we're doing to help keep your child safe. But before I do that, I have a question for you. So my first question is, are your children spending more time gaming in lockdown? So just have a think. I'd be really interested to know your thoughts on that. If they've been gaming a bit more, maybe what they've been playing, how long they've been spending. Let's try and start a bit of a discussion there in that chat box. And remember, if you've got any questions, do ask them too, and I'll answer them in a few moments. So wherever your children are right now, Be Internet Legends is here to help your children use the internet safely and confidently, and keeping an eye on their digital well-being at the same time. Now, the whole Be Internet Legends programme was developed by experts including psychologists, the police, children's charities and education experts. So today we're going to explain what we're doing to help keep your children stay safe. Now, this is really about reminding them of some of those important safety messages that they've already been learning in school, and also helping you make sure they develop digital healthy habits. Now, our research told us that we needed to focus on 5 key messages, so we developed the Legends Code. Now, it's a really child-friendly way for children to remember the most important things to think about when they're using the internet. So step 1, we've got Be Internet Sharp. Think before you share. 2, Be Internet Alert. Check it's for real. 3, Be Internet Secure. Protect your stuff. 4, Be Internet Kind. Respect each other. And 5, Be Internet Brave. When in doubt, discuss. I'll be pausing in a moment to have a little look in that chat box. So if you do have any questions, pop them in there now. But before that, I just want to quickly introduce you to the digital wellbeing part of the Be Internet Legends. So we really want to encourage children to think about how technology makes them feel, the positives and the negatives, and help them reflect on their screen use. And that can be really helpful now because it can help children to think about their online time, and it might even help save some of those screen time squabbles that you might be having. So having a little look in the comments. So we've got PS saying their child's watching a lot more cartoons maybe, and some educational programs too. Who doesn't love a cartoon? Fantastic. So we've been speaking to other parents as well, and other parents have been saying that their children have been spending more time online, whether that is gaming or again watching those cartoons. So I'm going to move on now and talk you through the Be Internet Legends code. Again, any questions, pop them in that chat box. So the first part of the code is Be Internet Sharp, and this is all about managing privacy and protecting your personal information online. So the mantra for this is to always think before you share. And whilst you're stuck at home, your children might want to share more than they normally would, but it's super important that they're just as careful as ever. Now, it can be really useful for you to have a conversation with your kids to talk about what's okay to share and what information should be kept private. And really break it down with your kids, because let them think about it. It can be different sharing information with close friends and family, and then different sharing it with maybe online friends or friends that they don't know that well, and then they might share different information with the wider internet community. So just having a chat there to talk about those differences when sharing information online. The next part of the code is Be Internet Alert. So this shows children how to check it's for real. So we really want children to understand that not everything they see online is real. So this one really kind of gives them the skills to become their own detectives. So we really want children to be able to spot the clues that something might be fake, misleading, or even a scam. So we talk to the children about making sure they check any links before they click on them. We get children to look for the padlock in the address bar, and if it's there, it shows that it's more safer to use. We talk about things that might pop up and having a discussion about if things sound too good to be true, that it probably is. To always be cross-checking the information that they find online, and to always talk to you as their trusted adult if there's anything that they're unsure about. So the next part in our Legends code is Be Internet Secure, and this one's about protecting your stuff. So this is where we talk about keeping information safe online. Now, there are some really, really simple security things you can do with your children at home, like creating a mega strong password for your different accounts. So a super strong password has to have a mixture of uppercase letters and lowercase letters, has to have some numbers in there, and also some symbols, and it has to be at least 8 or more characters. We talk to the children about having a password that's easy for them to remember, but difficult for somebody else to guess. So that's really key there. So not just the name of their pet or their favourite sports team, because somebody can guess that quite easily. And also we talk about making sure you have different passwords for different accounts, so you're being super secure online. When we're in the assemblies and we're talking to the children, we also talk about logging out of any sites that they've been on. Now that might feel a bit strange now if you're at home, you might be using a shared computer or device in a safe environment, but it's just reminding your children to kind of develop good healthy habits now whilst they're at home, to take them with them into the future. Next part of the code is Be Internet Kind. So this part of the code helps children understand the ways that communicating online is different from communicating in person. So it's about keeping the messages that they're sending fun, and also thinking about how those messages might come across to the person who's receiving them. whilst finding all the positive ways you can keep in touch with friends and family online. Last part of the code is be internet brave. When in doubt, discuss. Now, we always talk to children in the assemblies about how this is the most important part of the code. We want children to have the confidence and space to talk about anything that's on their mind when they've been online, even if that's something that might make them feel a bit embarrassed or worried and they might not want to tell you. So maybe you could make it a routine part of your day to talk to your children about what they've been doing online. So it might be when you're going on a walk, or maybe when you're setting the table for tea or dinner or doing the dishes. And if you've got a set part in that day and they're used to talking to you about their internet usage, if they do come across a problem, they know there's a time there to tell you about it and to share that with you. And they'll be used to teachers checking in with them at school, so this can be really useful to continue whilst you're at home. So now I'm going to ask you another little question. So my question for you now, let's try and start a bit of a discussion, is it easy to get your children to talk about what they've been doing online? So if you've got any tips there, then you can share them with the other parents who are taking part in this session, and I'll be discussing this and sharing some of our top tips with you a bit later on. But I am really looking forward to seeing if anyone's got any advice there. Now, we've got loads of resources to share with you, but before we get to those, I really want to talk about digital well-being. So with digital well-being, there's really no fixed rules about how much time a child should be spending online. So instead of rules, we like to look at feelings. So encouraging children to really think about how technology and the internet makes them feel and how those feelings might change over time. So in schools, we have 2 exercises that I'm going to share with you now. So one is where teachers ask children to draw emojis to track their feelings during a time online. So it might be, for example, they're playing a game, and during that game, at the start of the game, they might draw a smiley face emoji because they're really excited to be playing the game. And then they might get to a section of the game that they're struggling with or they can't quite complete, so they might get frustrated. And by tracking these emojis, it helps you to have a discussion with your child to track those feelings and see how they change when you're online, to see if you need some offline activity there too. Another exercise that teachers ask children to do in the classroom is to keep an online diary. So this can be when they're using online to record what they've been doing online. So to make sure that there's a mix of really good screen activity. So it might be that they're spending time online, but the time they're spending, part of it's having fun, part of it's doing some of their schoolwork or education activities, and part of it's keeping in touch with friends and family. So there's a varied mix of online activity, and also in that time there's lots of offline activity too. So there are 2 exercises you could try at home if you wanted to, and they might help you spark conversations whilst keeping things positive, and it's all about encouraging your children to be making those healthy choices. So that is a whistle-stop tour through the Be Internet Legends programme. Now, we do understand that fitting internet safety into everything else you're doing from home can feel like yet another task, and that's where we really want to help. So the first resource I want to tell you about is Interland. So Interland is our online game, and children absolutely love it. So as they're exploring Interland, they complete challenges based on the Legends code. So they're learning how to become these fearless online explorers and having loads of fun whilst they learn. So there's a link at the end of this session for you, and I'm sure Tim can pop the link in the chat box for the game. And maybe you could try and make it into a competition between you and your kids. So maybe loser, whoever gets the lowest high score, has to do the dishes or something fun like that. And that can be a really good way as well for engaging with your children by doing a fun online activity together. And after Interland, if you've still got some energy after adapting to working remotely and trying to get an online shopping slot, we have got some activities that are designed for you to do together as a family. So they're based on each pillar of the Legends Code, and we will be adding more resources in the coming week, so do keep checking there. And again, I'll share the link at the end of this session, and I'm sure Tim can pop it in the chat box. And whilst I mention chat box, I'm going to have a little look in here. Fab, yeah, so PS has said it depends on age, so children are young, so they share their online experiences with me. So I think with that one, if your children are young, you might find it easier, but if you start young and you're always having those conversations, it'll just be your normal in your family to be talking about what you're doing online. And like I say, play Interland together, play the games that they're interested in or whatever they're doing online and whatever they think is fun. Let them introduce it to you and make that a shared activity. And then, like I said earlier, if they do have any problems or there's something that they're worried about, they'll always come to you to talk about. So we know that it's not easy to keep your kids entertained and educated, but Be Internet Legends is here to help. So it'll make sure that they know how to stay safe online whilst they learn, play and stay connected. So that's it. That's almost the end of our session. So thank you for listening and taking part in this session. I've really enjoyed talking to you all today. I'm just having a little check. If you've got any questions, I'm here for maybe another minute, so do pop them in the box. But if something pops up a bit later, I always do that. It gets after something and then I'm like, oh, I've got a really good question. We've got an email address on the screen now. So if anything pops into your head at any point, if you email the team at legends@parentzone.org.uk, somebody will get back to you with an answer. And it might be something, again, that you didn't want to share in a public forum. So do email that address if you've got any questions or any comments that you'd like to make. Have a look at the resources. I've just noticed Tim's popped that in the chat box. Do have a look at those resources and let us know how you get on with them. Play Interland. There's one level that I really struggle on, Mindful Mountain, so I'd be really keen to know how you and your children get on with that. I know the children in my family are much better than me at it, so let's see if children are better at Mindful Mountain than adults, or maybe it's just me. But yeah, thank you. No more questions there, so you're very welcome. PS, you're very welcome, everybody, for watching. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day. See you soon. Oh, before I go, we have got other sessions coming up, so if this has been useful, do share it with your other friends, your parent friends and family members. You might want to share it with your school as well, so they can share the information with parents in your child's school, and that way we can make everybody in the country an internet legend. See you soon. Bye bye.